Hi guys, this week we are going to be making a deer wearing a sweater. We're going to be working on textures and patterns for this project, and we're going to start by kind of drawing out our deer on the page. And you can start with a pencil if you'd like. I'm going to just go ahead and draw with Sharpie, but if you think you might make a mistake and feel frustrated, use a pencil first and then trace over it with a black marker or crayon afterwards. So I'm going to start close to the center of my page and draw my deer's nose first. So I'm going to draw kind of a ovoid shape, like a curved rectangle, close to the middle, little further down than the middle. And then I'm going to color in the entire bottom section and just leave a little sliver of white across the top so that my nose looks shiny. Next, I'm going to draw a small vertical line coming down from the nose. It's a little one like that. And then a line across. Now, if I go too fast for you, remember you can pause this video and work at your own pace. Now, I'm going to draw kind of my deer's head next, but I'm not going to draw the whole head because I want to leave room for the antlers. So underneath the mouth here, I'm going to draw kind of a little curved line. Then I'm going to make it kind of V out so that the lines are going out so I can go all the way around here. And then I'm going to make those lines come around, but I'm not going to go all the way across the top because I'm going to draw the antlers first. So I'm going to come out and just curve around a little bit there at the top. Same thing on my other side. Don't want to go too far in. Now here is where I'm going to draw the antlers. So I'm going to make my antlers start a little bit below that line, just a little. And they're going to come up and kind of touch that line. And I'm going to draw the same line kind of next to it. Now, above these two lines is where I want to make my antlers kind of come out and make different points on my antlers. So I'm going to make one line that kind of comes out, makes a point, and comes back on the right side. And on the left side, I'm going to make that line kind of curve out further. And when I come back with that line, I'm not connecting here. I'm going to leave that open. That way I can draw more lines kind of coming out. And I'm going to make these go separate directions, and they kind of went off my page there. So I'm going to add a little V between to make it look like they would keep going those two different parts of the antlers. Now, when I draw on the other side, I'm going to kind of draw the exact same thing. I'm going to start with my two lines coming out. I'm going to make my one set of lines come out kind of far, and they're going to go off the page here. And it's okay if yours do too. I'm going to make a short one sticking out this way like I did here. Leave that open between, and then draw my lines kind of branching out and add that little V between. Now that I have the antlers drawn, I can finish the head here and kind of draw that missing curved line between the antlers. Now at the bottom of the antlers, I'm going to add a line that curves under to make it look like the antlers are really coming out of his head there. Now my deer is missing ears, so I'm going to put the ears on the left and right side of the antlers, and I'm going to start by drawing kind of a straight diagonal line that comes out just below the antlers, and it can even kind of disappear under the antlers. And then a line that curves down and in. Now I'm going to add some texture to those ears in a few minutes to give them a little bit of fur. First, I'm going to finish the face. So kind of down here on either side of the nose, I'm going to draw two lines that come up towards the middle here, and they're not going to connect. They're just going to kind of curve in and up and stop kind of there in the middle of the head. And then on either side of those lines, I'm going to draw the eyes, which will be a circle. And I like to draw a smaller circle inside, not too small because I don't want to accidentally fill it in. And then fill in the space around my circle. So it looks like my eye has like a little highlight, like it's a shiny eye there. Now, to make it look a little bit more like a deer, I'm going to add corners to the sides of my eyes. So I'm just going to make this line kind of come out like this, and I'm going to fill it in. Same thing on the other eye. So my eye has more of like a drop shape. All right. Next, I'm going to start adding the body of my deer, and I'm going to make kind of a neck that curves out like this. It's going to kind of make a neck that curves in and then comes out. And then I'm going to add a line pretty high up on the neck that curves under a little bit like a shirt. And everything below that, we're going to add some patterns to, so it looks like our deer is wearing a shirt. But first, I'm going to add some texture to the face and the neck here to make it look furry. So texture is the way something feels, and artists can create texture with lines and patterns. So I'm going to start with the ears, and inside my ear here along this curved line, I'm going to draw a short line that kind of mimics that curved line in each ear. And then on the straight side of the ear, I'm going to start at the tip here, and I'm going to add rows of little lines. And I want to keep them super close together. The closer they are together, the more it looks like fur. And I'm going to repeat that step here on the other side. I don't want to leave space between my lines. I want them to be super, super close together. Next, I'm going to add a little bit here along the bottom of the ear, and I'm going to go all the way across. These same lines going all the way across the bottom. And then on the curved outside edge, I'm going to add a few kind of spaced far apart. Now on my deer's head, I'm going to add fur, starting at the top of the head, going around my antlers. And once I've finished that first row, I'm just going to continue down, adding more and more rows. Now I don't want to start making these too far apart or too long, because then it won't really look like fur anymore or hair. Now on the sides, I'm going to go all the way to this corner. So I'm just going to kind of do one side at a time now. Once I get to those two lines where the nose is. And I'm going to kind of go around the eye. I don't want my lines to touch the eye, so I'm working around it, but continuing those lines all the way down to that little corner. And then I'll repeat that on the other side. And I might be going a whole lot faster than you, and that's okay, because you can pause this video to catch up whenever you need to. Now on the snout here in the middle, I'm going to come down to like right about here, right above the nose. So I am going to make rows of fur here, but I want to make it look like my deer has some white fur on the end of his snout. So I'm going to stop right about here, like a little bit above his nose. And then the last place I'm going to add the fur is kind of here under his snout. And I'm going to stop where I drew that curved line, because that's going to be his shirt. And we are actually going to leave almost all of this drawing black and white. So it will stay almost just like this. The only place I'm going to add color is on the shirt. So I'm going to imagine my reindeer here wearing a fun, colorful winter sweater. So I'm going to start by kind of drawing some lines, and they could be straight lines, bumpy lines, zigzag lines, any type of lines you want that just kind of go across the shirt or across the sweater here. And we're going to add patterns in between the lines. So for example, here I might do a pattern of parts. You want to make sure that your patterns are shapes, not just lines. If you do draw lines, make them go all the way from one horizontal line to another, so that you are creating shapes here that you can color in. But you don't want to just draw like X's or something, because you won't be able to color that in. So you want to draw either shapes or dividing lines that go all the way across the section. And like I said, this will be the only part that we color. So I want to get lots of detail in here. so that the sweater is really colorful and I can put lots of different patterns in there. Let's see, I'm going to put some triangles in here. And sometimes I like to go back in and put shapes between my shapes to add more details on my patterns. And when I'm finished with that, I can use crayons, markers, colored pencils, totally your choice, to color in just the sweater. And I want to remember that when I'm making patterns, it would be silly for me to then take a crayon and go through and color this whole section one color, because then I can't even see the patterns that I need. So I'll color my shapes and then I'll color the space around my shapes. You could also do it the other way. Color your background space and then color the shapes. But this way, I'm making sure that I'm really highlighting my patterns and letting those stand out. And I'm not just kind of camouflaging them by coloring over it with one color. Since we're only coloring this one part, you should be really taking your time and making sure that you fill your shapes in all the way and that you press nice and hard with your crayons to make nice bright colors. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could also color all this background space. I think it looks kind of cool having your black and white animal. And you could also make different versions of this artwork by creating different animals. You could do a rabbit, you could do a bear, a fox, any kind of woodland creature would look really neat with one of these funky, colorful sweaters on. You could even make your sweater have a theme, like your favorite things. You could make pictures on there of your favorite characters or your favorite foods, your favorite holiday. I'm going to try to use as many colors as I can, but I'm also repeating colors since I am making patterns. Now, another way you could add some more texture to this artwork is you could color over something that is textured. For example, the sidewalk, or if you have any type of textured wall, or even the bottom of your shoe has a texture on it. If you were to put your paper on top of one of those things while you're coloring, you could even create texture in here by doing kind of a rubbing. And that would be a neat way to make the sweater of your animal look textured as well. All right, now as I finish my last shape down here, I am finished and I cannot wait to see your finished texture deer as well.